Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. That was a 24 hours of Chelsea Football Club that I wish we could remove from our memories. But unfortunately, as it always is with football, sometimes you can't just forget things and move on. You got to break it down. You got to dissect it. What does it mean? What is happening? And in this video today, I'm going to try and make sense of some of these truly baffling decisions that Chelsea Football Club have made. But I want to caveat with something here at the beginning of this video. Only a couple of weeks ago, Chelsea finished in the top 4 and we won a trophy. And everyone was feeling good about the club. And for me, it was very much a really positive step that we all had to just stop for a second and acknowledge that despite another turbulent season, we'd actually achieved something. We achieved a target and we can look up and move forward. And it feels as though all in 24 hours, so much of that optimistic, forward-thinking, forward-looking excitement has been stripped away. And as some people are going to say it's an overreaction, some people are going to turn around and say to you, the window's only been open for 10 days and it opens again for real on the 16th of June. And there is an element of truth behind this, but a lot of the things that we are seeing within this 24-hour segment of time tell me that the sporting directors that have been heavily criticised, heavily questioned, and I believe rightly so, over the past couple of years, they just seem to be making howler after howler after howler. And before we go through any screenshots, before we look at what any journalists are saying right now about Chelsea, I think more importantly than anything else, if they want to be taken seriously and not have everybody throwing their toys out of the pram the moment fans don't see something that we like, the briefings that keep going out to journalists, we need to be congruent. And what that means is we need to be aligned. We need to be saying the right things and the same things. We can't keep flip-flopping about what the club are actually thinking, what the club are actually doing. Because some of the stories that we're going to go through here are actually quite embarrassing. And I think they're quite harsh on a lot of the players that we're bringing in. And I think the message that it shows to future signings is that the club is kind of just this chaotic basket case that we don't know how to operate in a fluid manner that's actually with a plan. So without any further ado, we are going to go down now and break everything down, starting off with Kendry Paez, who will join Strasbourg on loan, deal from Chelsea as he won't be included in the FIFA Club World Cup squad. Plan confirmed for Paez to have more game time and then return to Chelsea in 1 year. This is from Matt Law. Lots of cues on Paez. He will join Strasbourg on loan, whereas the other 3 incoming players, Delap, Mamadou Sarr and Dario Isugo, have been signed to go straight into Chelsea's first team. Now, when it comes to Kendry Paez, he's not played a lot of football recently, but what is he going to be doing over the course of this summer, having not played football? Surely, it would have been beneficial for Enzo Maresca, even if it was guaranteed he goes on loan, to have another option in the number 10. Cole Palmer's played tons of football, but instead of that, Chelsea are taking Christopher Nkunku to the Club World Cup. A player that's not been interested in Chelsea for the last 6 months to a year, and he's going to be leaving Chelsea this summer. So, to me, we've got a 35-man squad that we can take to the Club World Cup. We could even field a load of 16-year-olds just to give them the experience of being in a major tournament with Chelsea, with the squad, with the manager, on the training ground. There are so many benefits to doing that. Maresca will know the core group of players he's going to want to use, and Kendry Paez is not going with Chelsea to the Club World Cup because he's going to Strasbourg. I think that is crazy. I think I would much rather see Kendry Paez used off the bench, a player that we've hyped up so much, a player that the club have got so much hope and expectation for, from what we're led to believe, but he's staying at home. Now, the most ridiculous one here, and I'm trying to keep myself kind of balanced and calm in this video today, but the whole day today, I have been kind of arguing with myself about how annoyed I really am about this, because Mike Maignan not signing for Chelsea, if you watched the previous video, it's got to me. because it's a perfect opportunity to bring in a top goalkeeper. We didn't do it. We don't want to pay, but we're happy to go and spend loads of money, hundreds of millions on kids that might never play for Chelsea. I've got an issue with that, and I think a lot of people do. But as a result of that, I was thinking, well, all right, we didn't sign Maignan. Maybe we go for him later in the window, or maybe we don't need him. Because we got Georgi Petrovic, who's been a really good keeper at Strasbourg, was actually Chelsea's number one before last season, and we sent him on loan. He's done very well, and I was excited to see him again. This is baffling. This is absolutely mind-blowing. Georgi Petrovic will be left out of Chelsea's squad for FIFA Club World Cup. Chelsea plan is not to bring in any player out on loan during the season, apart from Andres Santos. Decision made for Petrovic, as Matt Law reports. There is one huge problem here, and the problem is what Chelsea are telling these players. Petrovic, there's an interview that he had this season in France where he said his dream is to be Chelsea's number one. The whole point of this Chelsea players loan to Strasbourg thing is for them to develop there, for them to show themselves there, to then be given at least a chance at Chelsea. But with Petrovic, he's not even being given a chance. He's not even going to the Club World Cup, let alone going and actually being on the bench or not replacing Sanchez. He's not even getting a flipping meal and a seat on the plane. That is mind-blowing to me, that we can say no to signing Mike Maignan and then not even take Petrovic with us. Something isn't right here. On a footballing level, how can we hear throughout the course of the last week or so, Enzo Maresca wants Mike Maignan? We're also hearing, but Chelsea are really happy with their other goalkeepers. If you're really happy with the other goalkeepers, why are you going for Mike Maignan? Stop lying to us. We're not stupid. Chelsea fans are not stupid. I have not seen any football club with the amount of briefings that are so contradictory as what comes out of Chelsea Football Club. In my opinion, yesterday was a disaster on the goalkeeping front for Chelsea. We sold Bettinelli, who's a big dressing room presence, to Man City. We flipping didn't sign a world-class goalie in Mike Maignan, who's a brilliant ball-playing goalkeeper and shot stopper that would have helped us to, instead of just hoofing it when we're under pressure, would have been able to find those midfielders that we spent 250 million on to start engineering attacks, to be able to go long to Liam Delap because he's always finding his men. The stats prove it. But no, we couldn't spend the money. It wasn't worth it. The opportunity wasn't valuable enough. So then we've got Petrovic, but honestly, guys, I find this beyond baffling. And if people are still blindly backing this and saying, yeah, it all makes sense. Sorry, there's got to be a point where we draw a flipping line in the sand and call this out for what it really is. To bring in Kunku, a player that's got no interest of being here, that we're going to sell over bringing a player that we've got so many hopes for, Kendry Páez. Even if he doesn't play, it's not the point. The point is you've got a 35-man Club World Cup squad. Let them go. Let them meet the teammates that they're going to be integrated with, so we're led to believe, in a year or 2 years, whenever his loans have developed him enough. Make any of this make sense to me, man. So Petrovic isn't going to the Club World Cup. So we got Rob Sanchez, Philip Jorgensen and Mike Penders. I'm excited for Penders, but again, Sanchez had a good few games at the end of the season, and the club are now telling us that he got us 9 points last season. But what about the ones he lost us? Stop talking to us like we're stupid. They're saying about, oh, Chelsea are happy because Rob Sanchez probably won us around 9 points last season. Yes, he did. He did make big saves in big moments at times, but he also made 5 errors directly leading to goals, and the man that we're now looking to sell, Georgi Petrovic, didn't make a single one and was the best goalkeeper in France over Gianluigi Donnarumma, who just won the Champions League for PSG. But we are adamant that we're not even interested in looking at Petrovic. Can you tell me Enzo Maresca is happy with this? Do you think this is an Enzo Maresca decision? It's not. You know it. Even if you're watching this video and you don't like to talk bad about the sporting directors, or you don't want to speak not in a positive way about the ownership, you cannot tell me that if you look at the data, which is what we're led to believe is how we do business these days, the data tells you that Petrovic is a better goalkeeper than the ones that we're taking to this tournament that you can win £100 million in. The money even makes sense to make the right decisions here, but we're not doing it. And as well as that, Chelsea are not so convinced to go for Maignan later on in the window. as they saw it as an opportunity for the Club World Cup. Unless Milan change their assessment, I think the deal is off. This is from Fabrizio Romano. I honestly think the backlash that we're seeing after this 24 hours of time for Chelsea Football Club, I don't think it's actually even related to the bigger picture here, which the bigger picture that I'm seeing, ignorance and reluctance to even be remotely bothered about the clear, alarming issue that was there last season for large portions of it. This team needs some experienced players. This team needs more players that are natural-born leaders. We don't have enough of it. And when an opportunity arises to actually bring in a world-class keeper, do we not even think that maybe this would have been a spine position that would have not even needed addressing for maybe 10 years? Because you could have Maignan for 3 or 4 years, and then if Penders is as good as the data tells us, then he would then take over. I find it's absolutely mind-blowing. And if we're not even going to go back in the market for him, but we're going to sell Petrovic, I don't know how it's even possible to be in a job if you're going to make a howler like that in front of the world. But anyway, another piece of news is Matisa Mugu is not expected to be in the Club World Cup squad. Santos will take his place. So it's all right for Santos to go and get his opportunity. We know he's good enough, so I'm not saying he shouldn't, but I also think it should be Petrovic as well as that. CFC plan for keepers they do have. Sanchez, Jorgensen, Petrovic, Penders. One will be sold. One is being earmarked to join Strasbourg on loan. Third choice keeper, Bettinelli to Man City. Told Gaga Slonina and Teddy Sharman-Lowe are under consideration. So we've gone from being a team that scraped into the Champions League, we win a trophy, to then trying to weaken ourselves in terms of options in one of the most important positions on the pitch. I'm not going to say anything more on that now. So Allegri is going to be having direct confrontation with Maignan after the negotiations with Chelsea fell through. Chelsea considering taking Maignan next year on a free transfer. As much as I believe that this was an easy deal for Chelsea to get done, and I think the price was fair regardless if it was £20 million or £25 million. I think it's a good deal for a player of that quality. For Maignan to come in on a free next year, what are we waiting for? Honestly, if we don't get Champions League football next season, and we're talking about goalkeeper errors again all season, at what point do we draw the flipping line with this? Let's move now into something else. Felix, Sterling, Disasi and Chilwell will also not be involved in Chelsea's Club World Cup squad. And there's also this on Georgia Petrovic, an image rights situation that likely needs to be resolved before any move. At this point, I don't really know what this is all about, but maybe this is part of the reason why. Maybe there's something with Petrovic's image rights that is made. Honestly, at this point, I'm like, surely you've got to have all of this stuff in order. Whoever's advising these players, surely they would have known. Petrovic, surely there has to be communication with him to say, look, mate, we're going after Mike Maignan, but even if we don't get him, we're still not going to take you. Who's making these choices? And how are we communicating this to the players? This is the important thing. Kendry Pires has been visibly excited for this, and now he's being told he's not going at the last minute after being told last week that he was. And you might be thinking, Benson, you're waffling here. This is all over the place. This is a reflection of the club. This is a reflection of what we're doing right now. I'm trying to make sense of it as I'm recording this live for you guys. He was literally told, Kendry Pires, last week, he's going to the Club World Cup, and now he isn't. I finish this Chelsea news video today with something that actually fills me with optimism. But I tell you what, I don't believe in this whatsoever. As much as obviously the window opens again on the 16th, and then we've got all of the rest of June, all of July, all of August, I am really not convinced because we've shown our true colours again here when it comes to how we're willing to do business. Chelsea have contacted the agents of Morgan Rogers with the player thought to be open to a move this summer. Aston Villa's price tag is £80 million. How on earth can we sit here and get excited about something like that now? If we can't find an extra $5 million to sign a world-class goalkeeper, how are we going to go and spend $80 million on a backup number 10 to Cole Palmer? I just can't. I don't believe any of this is going to happen. We're not going for Nico Williams. That was also news that dropped from The Athletic for various reasons. Just call it what it is. We're not willing to pay top wages to sign top players. We got Champions League money. If we're in a position next year, guys, obviously there's still a window to go, but don't mind me whilst I'm not optimistic about it right now because we've been let down for so many top players because these sporting directors cannot get it over the line. And if you can't criticize it, then what are we here for? What are we here for? Because the job that they're doing here, even if you just want to focus on the way that they're communicating to the players, it's atrocious. These are professionals. These are young players that have a dream of playing for Chelsea, and we're treating them like a flipping, like a rotten fruit and just tossing it to the side. That's not how you deal with footballers. This is not how to run a football club. I don't want to be ultra negative all the time, but I think this video, at least today, where we go through all of these omissions from the Club World Cup squad, like it's very hard to paint this in any kind of positive light. I think some of these choices are really poor. And look, maybe we do get a good profit for Petrovic, but he's a better goalkeeper than all the other ones, and we've just turned our nose up at a world-class keeper. So don't mind me whilst I sit here speaking what I believe to be the truth. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, huge shout out to all of you for all the support recently on the channel. I think the channel is growing now as quick as it has done in about 5 years, and I'm really grateful for it. I'm excited. I'm going to Atlanta this weekend, and we'll be there for Chelsea's first game against LAFC in the Club World Cup. I'm hoping we can win this tournament. I really am. And it would have been nice if we could have seen a few more new signings, but Sugo, Delap, and Sarr, I'm excited to see them. Let's get into the next video later on today. Come on, you Blues.